So yay.
Woo.
Hey.
Hey, back again.
I used to hate Mondays. I never thought, what's that song? I hate Mondays. I just never really, Mondays never interested me because I've got how many more days to look forward to the weekend. And yet, every time we come into the studio now, I get so excited.
Well, as our listeners know, the people, it is our happy place.
It
And it's funny because I flew with the airlines, as you all know too. So days didn't matter what day of the week. You know, I used to like fly, so it could be a Wednesday or something. That'd be the start of the week. It didn't really matter. But you know, so it's a new potty and a new week.
It
and
is.
I haven't. You know, when I last saw you, when was that day? Can you remember? Last week?
I think it was Thursday when we're emceeing that wonderful event for the Northern Beaches Women's Shelter.
Oh, it was so
blew me
good.
away. I know they raised a lot, which made me so happy. Great organisation, great charity. I mean, the hundreds and hundreds of women they look after per year. And see, a lot of people think, you know, a shelter is literally what it is, 4 walls and a roof. That's only the tip of the iceberg,
It is
literally.
the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
It's so good to see communities getting behind one another. And they had that at the local sort of like Manly Golf Club, and it had been raining in Sydney, and the sun came out, and everyone was in such
incredible.
a good mood. And
It's a great charity if you want to get involved, because remember the CEO who we did interview, amazing,
Narelle Hand.
Yeah, she was talking about it's not so much the money, it's time. You know, what do they say? There's so much joy in giving back, and they've actually proven that. It's scientifically proven giving back can help all your endomorphins and hormones. So if you want to give back, if you do have a little bit of time, you can volunteer at the Northern Beaches Women's Shelter. There's a million different there's such an array of different things you can get involved in. But the flip side of it all is all the people that all collaborate with each other to make it happen.
And treating
mind-blowing
people with dignity, you know, when we've all got hit at different times from your lowest point, and you never know when, you know, you can be hit there yourself. And so they do a great job. But that was great
Safety
seeing you.
too.
But talk about, I tell you, someone who we're really pleased to have in the studio. And I know she gives back so much and does so much for charity.
I want to go to lunch with her.
I know. Well, we are beyond lucky.
Well,
we've got a bottle of vino. You've got to celebrate life, don't you? So we've got Bianca Dye sitting right here with us at the back fence before she flies off, jets back to sunny Queensland. So we feel really lucky here. Now, I think most of you might have known Bianca Dye, but she's also, you'd know her voice from radio. She's been on Nova, CFM, many TV shows, all areas in the media. And also you'd know her for her fearless honesty. She's an entertainer, an advocate, and someone who's spoken up about the real stuff. And that's just, you know, what we're about. You know, from mental health, IVF, perimenopause, ADHD, heartbreak, career interventions.
IVF, you said IVF.
And all the beautiful messy parts in between, which we can all relate to. So you're going to share some stories and some tools and some hard-won wisdom on how to keep going and growing when life throws curveballs. So we're so glad to get you here, Bianca.
That's
Before
so
you jet
good.
off, welcome.
Thank you, ladies. Oh my God, the energy in here. No wonder this is such a successful podcast. You two are like, am I allowed to swear?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
You two are baby. We love
fucking,
that.
You two are like massive, big, fucking unicorn, fucking cupcake, bloody everything. It's just such a good vibe. And I think that's important, right, with podcasts, because I've done others where you sort of sit there and it's all very serious and you're like, oh, fuck, is this an interrogation? What's happening? So I already feel like I love you both. And I wish that you weren't jetting off and I wasn't jetting off and we could just go downstairs and have 18 margaritas.
I actually just said that. I said I want to go to lunch
this
with
while
her.
we're actually, this is their own wine.
That's right.
There's so much to unpack with
Lisa McGuigan. Hi, Lisa.
Oh, yeah, Lisa. Bianca met you years ago.
Yeah, we did this massive event with Sonia Kruger, Camilla. We all went out to, she had us there as her guest at the winery at Tempest 2. I'm talking a million years ago. And I think it was a shoot, and I want to say for InStyle magazine or one of those back in the day.
Yeah.
And I just remember being like, oh my God, Sonia Kruger's here. Camilla, who I've known for years since she first started.
We all love a Camilla.
Oh, she's beautiful. She's a good
good soul.
such a good human. And there were some actors, and I just remember sitting there going, how did I get here amongst all these famous people? I was very honoured and it was exciting. So I was very lucky to do a lot of stuff like that.
Shout out to Lisa. We love her too.
Lisa.
Bianca, so much to unpack today. We're going to have too much fun. I just know it.
I know.
But let's just start. I love this line. Let's start at the very beginning.
No, you're a singer. Come on.
When you
I love belting out a song when I can.
freaking love the sound of music.
I know, we love it.
It's
Me
concerning.
too.
But look, let's start with Dad being, of course, Izzy Dye.
Yep. Speaking of singing, yes.
Speaking of singing.
Growing up with him singing around the house.
A Melbourne girl.
Melbourne girl.
Yes, good Jewish girl. Well, Mum's not Jewish, Dad is, so technically I'm not Jewish, but most of my family
Well,
are
your
Jewish.
grandparents.
Yes, my grandparents, my dad's mum and dad, Edith and Benjamin, escaped Auschwitz. So they came here as refugees, and Dad was like 2, and it's a miracle. It's an
Did you know them, your grandparents?
So my booba, which is Yiddish for grandma, yes, she was very much a part of my life because Dad was busy late night TV, Channel 9, just doing a million things. This is clearly where I get my ADHD, although he would say, what a load of shit. I'm like, no, I got it from you, Dad, for sure. Because he just doesn't stop. He's almost 80 and he's 100 miles an hour, and I'm so proud of him. He's incredible. But, yeah, my booba moved in because Dad, it's unusual, it's a long story and I won't go into it now, but for 1975, I was born in 73, but for him to get custody, he got custody of me, not Mum. Long story, all good.
Yeah.
No, it's not a negative real story, but it's just the way it was, whatever happened. And so he was and I saw Mum all the time.
Yes.
But I literally lived out of a duffel bag. I had a very unusual childhood in that and I never knew where I was staying. I never knew who was picking me up from school. It could have been Bubba, my dad's mum. Was it Dad? Was it a nanny? I had a nanny for maybe a year or so. Was it Mum? Was it going to be my mum's parents? They were incredible. Like my grandparents kind of brought me up because Mum and Dad were just running around doing their own thing. And yeah, so my booba, I was very close to her, my dad's mum, because she was just amazing and she's just such a strong, incredible woman. And it wasn't until later, like she was interviewed by the Steven Spielberg crew for Schindler's List. She wasn't in the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, they interviewed like 250 people around the world, maybe more. I don't know, I'm pulling that one out of my ass, but they interviewed hundreds of people. And she was one of them. And I've watched the tapes many years ago, but I can't bring myself to watch them again, but I will. But just hearing what she went through, I mean, she was 15 in Auschwitz, and unfortunately her whole family were murdered. And that's where she met Benjamin Dizenhouse, my dad's, my grandfather.
So they actually met there.
They met there.
What a love story, actually.
I know.
actually amazing.
Well, since they met there, I'm sure.
Wow.
Oh, God, I
Yes.
need to.
That's
Yeah.
astounding
I know,
if they
isn't it?
did.
They may have known each other before
Yeah.
they went in the camps.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
No.
But yeah, and then they came. He was a lot older than her. He was a doctor, and the way he, from what I know, the way he survived and stayed on the good side of the Nazis was because he was a doctor. Yes. He used to help them. They needed him, so they weren't going to murder him because he was someone that could be of use to the Nazis. And from what I hear, there's a little chapter in a book about him talking about Auschwitz and survivors of the Holocaust. And he used to, and I'm pressing this right down, but he would kind of pilfer a bit of the medication from the Nazis and help out the sick people in the camps.
Oh, what a beautiful man.
Yeah, so he was a bit of a hero, really. He was a bit of an amazing man and very inspiring.
You come from good, strong stock.
I know. And
Seriously.
I do. And so when I have days, like I have been recently, which I know we'll get into, with perimenopause, definitely to some depression. Definitely. I've never felt anything like it. Fucking couldn't get out of bed. I'm like, fuck. You know, I call it, what was it, 50 sacked and single. And I was going to start my own podcast because I was like 50, the radio show got axed, single, felt very alone, and oh my God, I just had a Peri moment. I literally
But you know what?
totally
All at once,
but
too.
all at once.
Yeah,
But I felt guilty. So just talking about I come from strong
Yeah,
stock.
what do you fall back on?
I would
Yeah.
think to myself, fuck me, first world problems. Like, you've got a pretty good life. Everything's pretty good. Just think back to your booba, which this necklace, actually, the love heart, Benjamin gave that to my grandma, the 2 love hearts.
It's stunning.
For her 30th birthday. So can you imagine they took it off her when she passed, when she was like 92. I know. So
And
I
she
wore
lived to
this
92.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So that blood's running through your blood.
So,
you know,
but I feel
is-
guilty
yeah.
when I have down days because I go, you're not in a
But you know
fucking
what, Bianca?
concentration
Right.
camp watching
Yes.
your mother go to the
I
gas
love that
chambers.
perspective.
What have you got to
Yeah.
worry about? But then my girlfriends will go, well, hold on. Yeah, but it's all relative to you and your life now. And so, I mean, advice to people who always go, yeah, but there's someone always doing it
Yes.
harder.
Yeah.
Of course there is.
Yeah.
But you're allowed to sit in the shit and you got to feel it to heal it. I've obviously stolen that from God knows who, Mel Robbins, Oprah, who cares?
But it's so
Doesn't
But
matter.
it's true and it's all relevant. So I feel like women, we kind of go, oh, but, you know, I'll be all right because there's people going through so much worse shit than me. And now I've learnt to go, yeah, there is, but it's okay to feel like shit.
And it's your life
own
too.
it. And it's,
you know, you're the
I'm living
master
it,
of your
yeah.
own ship, so you need to look after yourself
Yeah.
first, really, to then be able
Yes.
to manage.
What's your
and do
line?
that.
Oxygen
The
first?
Fluid
Oxygen
airlines.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is true.
We
So-
say that a lot,
fuck.
Yeah,
and it
but
really
it is that
resonates.
thing there. But it's also lovely to if you can use that tool of going. I do come from strong stock there.
I can
you know,
pull from it.
Yes, but acknowledge the
Hopefully,
time to sort of to sit
100%.
in it. But wow, but you're from
Incredible.
like an entertainment family, so you've got
Yeah.
this wild, incredible
Yeah.
child
Like remarkable
in Melbourne,
beginnings.
and then what you went to Queensland. Is that
So
right?
Dad decided he'd been in Melbourne for years, so he kind of pioneered late night TV on Channel 9. He bought up all the airtime, and then he did the movies. So when people would come home from nightclubs, they'd see Dad, and he'd do the hustling in between. So he'd do like the infomercials because he can sell ice to the Eskimos. He's amazing, and he can talk under fucking water, which is clearly where I got it from. And he was very clever because he bought up the time and then he on-sold it. So he became sort of the late night TV guy, Channel 9. But he had a band before that and he was singing and he really wanted to do more singing. But he sort of felt like he'd sucked Melbourne dry. He was like, it's time to move. So up to the sunny Gold Coast.
It's a great line, that one.
I know. He was like, and I loved it because we'd wake up on the Goldie and Dad was just so excited to be there and he'd like come in and open my blinds and go, it's another shitty day in paradise. Let's go to school. Woo! And I'd be like, oh, fuck off, Dad. Like I'm 14, I want to sleep in. But
This is great.
Isn't it?
Great grounding.
showbiz life, like
Enthusiasm. I love
Oh,
it.
he's
That's worth
mate,
On
bottling.
steroids, isn't it?
mate, he's got more energy. I seriously, I'm like, oh, he's got incredible energy. But I did have this unusual life. Like, for example, my auntie as well, Fleur.
Fleur.
Yeah, she's
I
a
love that
costume
name.
designer. Went to LA, and so she became very good friends with Olivia Newton-John, Ozzy Osbourne. Oh my God, everyone in LA. And then there was Dad too. So between the two of them, like I remember going to lunch at good old Pellegrini's in Melbourne, with Olivia Newton-John and her family. And she wrote this gorgeous thing, like she signed one of those autograph things. And I took it to school on the Monday for show and tell. So you can imagine there's kids going, I caught a caterpillar on the weekend. And then they're like, there's little Johnny going, I drew a picture of a spider. And then there's me going, I met Olivia Newton-John. And like all the kids were like, fuck off.
Wanker.
No,
I love
they
it.
thought,
Exactly.
You're lying.
yeah, I'm making it up.
That isn't funny. That was your life.
It was
you
my
know.
life. We'd
So
go to Don Lane's
good.
house for barbecues.
That was your
Bert
caterpillar.
Newton was like that was
Yeah.
my life, so I didn't know any different. I thought that was normal to kind
So
of
let's join the gap from here to
Yeah.
you entering the media world
Yeah.
into radio. Where did that begin? We know your beginnings, but how did that start for you?
I feel like I didn't have a choice because growing up with Dad, like I love him, but he was a tight ass, so there was never babysitters. So he just dragged me to gigs. So I'm running around the studios of Channel 9 from the age of 6,
Yeah.
apparently running into Bert Newton's dressing room and annoying the shit out of him to the point where he'd be like, get that child out of here. But I grew up with that, watching Dad have no fear, get on stage, sing, perform, entertain, and spruiking too. I used to watch Dad spruik. And back in the day, and I'd get teased because the kids would be like, oh, your dad's a spruiker. My mum saw him at the bloody thing and he's on the microphone. And Dad said, next time they're bullying you, tell those kids that spruiking bought us a holiday house in Rye, near Portsea.
Yeah.
So tell the kids to fuck off.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that.
oh, okay, yeah, sure, Dad. I'll just go and tell them that.
No
but
problem.
he's like, but, he taught me that no fear. Like, he just didn't care. Don't give a fuck what people think. He was
Fabulous.
just so
No.
grateful to have the work and be here and doing it. which was good. And I didn't realise at the time, but that was instilling in me that sense of just fucking go for it. So I originally wanted to be an actor or a news presenter. So I got into a Bachelor of Arts in Media Journalism down in Melbourne. So hold on. So 14, I'll join the dots. 14, we moved to the Gold Coast. But then after a year and a half, 2 years, I was a little shit. And I didn't get along with my dad or my stepmom. Well, I just went through.
So dad remarried.
Dad remarried when I was 14.
It's also that age too.
Oh,
where you're
was it
rebellious.
difficult?
Yeah.
I was a turd.
Yeah.
So I've just been staying with my girlfriend Alex, who you met, and she's got a 15-year-old, and I'm watching him do it, and she's like, I'm gonna kill him. And I'm like, babe, I was that kid. And I turned out okay, sort of. So I'm like, it's just 15-year-olds push back, mate. They push back. So I ran away from home and went to live with my mum in Elwood in Melbourne. I literally ran away, and I don't think my parents, my dad and stepmom, believed that I was actually going to do it, but they took me to the Greyhound bus, and they were like, all right, well, we're here if you want to go. And I was like, bye. So I just jumped on the bus and went and finished year 11 and 12 down at Brighton Secondary College.
And that's huge when you think about too, your social circle of friends.
Oh, I lost
at
my
that
boyfriend.
Age I know.
I finally got Paul Langlands, who was like the hot guy in school, and we pashed and everything. And then and I remember a girlfriend Fiona going, you know, Paul's not going to wait for you. Like, he'll start dating someone else. And I was like, like, hello. I was so naive. Of course, he's going to wait for me. Yeah. So, I ended up finishing year 12 down in Melbourne, and I actually duxed my high school. And I say that because with ADHD and just everything I was doing, I still look back and go, was that me?
Wow.
Well done, you.
Yeah,
well done, you.
And
it's good to
against a
reflect
lot
on
of
that.
all odds, like good. It's amazing.
I don't know how I did. I also did easy subjects, so anyway, whatever.
No.
Got a good brain up there.
Yeah, I can when I apply myself. When I sound like a school report. then I decided to defer. So I got into a Bachelor of Arts in Media Journalism. And at RMIT in Melbourne.
Got it.
And
so that was natural for you to move into that.
I thought
sort of study.
media, journalism, news reporting.
Enough.
I did work experience at Channel 10. Funnily enough, with Larry Emder. Yes. How funny!
Oh, we love Larry.
He was just he was working there, but he was just a gopher. Like he was just a shit kicker back in those days, but hungry and ambitious. And I had such a crush on him because he's a bit older than me. I was like, I was like 16, 17, doing work experience at photocopying at Channel 10. And I just knew I wanted to be in that media world because I'd grown up with Dad and showbiz and just that life. And I just knew I would go into that.
But you did some crazy things too, didn't you? When you were Marilyn Monroe impersonator as
so
well.
So when I got back to the Gold
Sophie
Coast,
Monk, doesn't she do that as well?
She was Sophie Monk was we laughed about this because I interviewed them when they were Bardot, and I know Sophie now. And we stay in touch occasionally. We're not bestie friends or anything, but we laugh because. She was a proper Marilyn Monroe impersonator, like a movie world, whereas I was like the Temu bloody Marilyn. I bought the wig, did all the thing. My girlfriend Andy set me up. She goes, I'm booking some talent. We've got a Stevie Wonder, we've got a Michael Jackson and a Madonna. I feel like we need a Marilyn. Can you do Marilyn? And I was like, I don't mean rhinestones. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Actually, I did it better then. But
I can actually see you with the wig and everything.
She goes, hired. And I went, fuck you. So I'm like walking around Cavill Avenue.
You know what? The confidence coming back,
good old,
right?
I know.
But
thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad, because I had no fear.
Well said, Di.
I didn't care. I just put on the wig and I walked around. It used to be it's the Paradise Centre now, but I walked around Grundy's with all these performers and we did like roving performing. So I just like have to stay in character and be Marilyn and be like, all the bullshit. And I loved it. And so it's funny, I look at my business card from when I went back to the Gold Coast. God love me. ADHD, OCD. It said, Bianca Dye, actor, voiceovers, Marilyn Monroe impersonator, journalist, copywriter. Like my business card basically said,
no.
I'll do whatever you want for money. So I was freelancing and doing, I did a pilot for a show. It's funny how people believe in you long before you believe in yourself.
I can relate.
Yeah, right. Like I look back, this guy wanted to do a pilot with me for me to be, he goes, I can see you as being the next Oprah. And I was 24. And I was like, oh, what? He goes, I reckon we could do an Oprah-style chat show. Like,
Well,
I
she's
look
coming
back
out
now.
to Sydney and to
know.
Brisbane. We're all
Yeah,
going.
I
Yeah.
actually,
Yes,
I love this guy because, as you said, it can be the most random person that can be almost a turning point, A, in your life, or B, build your confidence to that level of,
so
okay,
true.
watch out, world, here I come.
I was blown away. And looking back
when you
now.
least expect it.
Yeah, very true. That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
right.
And also, I just look back and laugh, though, because I think at 24, I
Yeah.
didn't know. Like, there's no way.
I get it.
You need life experience, as you women know, to be able
Yeah.
to sit there and be able to.
Yeah.
And I know now from interviewing some of the biggest stars in the world and sitting there, my interview skills have they're totally changed now. I'm a much better listener, and I'm much better at, like, I don't stick to the. I kind of will go off and go, oh, go back. Can we just? What was that about that? You know, like you.
That's the art.
I wouldn't have done. There is an art. There is an art to interviewing. I would not have done that at 24. So I was like, there's no way the show would have been great. But for him to believe in me, anyway, we did the
Yes.
pilot. Typical story of my life. I've done that many fucking pilots. Didn't end up getting picked up. But I then got a call from my dad, and he said, my mate Michael Edgley, who has the Great Moscow Circus, he's looking for a ringmaster. And I was like,
You're kidding?
yeah. So long story short, because there's so many stories I want to tell you. I ended up travelling with the Great Moscow Circus as their ringmaster. Wow. With the Russian guy. So the Russian guy would say it in Russian, the Puzanovs, or whatever, I can't remember.
What hasn't she done?
I'm actually
I know,
already
this one-
floored and we've only started the interview.
exactly. That's
I-
right.
I-
This is-
Bianca,
this is-
I used to say, as I was reading about you, okay, yep, she's got to write a book. Now I'm going, oh my God, the movie. I can see the movie.
know.
Oh my God,
you
how
can.
Oh,
There you
Jesus. I hadn't
go.
thought about that.
That's
I'm
it.
going to
No,
write
it'd
a
be
book.
interesting
I
to
Now
know.
you're throwing the Moscow Circus in. Oh, God.
Oh, mate, it was hilarious.
So that
Marilyn
would have been a
Monroe.
hoot. So what did you do after that?
I came back and I thought, do I want to go back to uni? No, I'm going to stay. So then I started spruiking. And so there's this massive shopping centre on the Gold Coast called Robina Town Centre. It had just opened. And this woman said to me, do you want a job? It's 6 days a week. You're spruiking 6 hours a day. But the money was really good. It was like $35-40 an hour. Back then,
Grab
I was
it
like
and
20,
run.
Oh, it's big
22.
money. Yeah.
That was big money. And I was like, 6 days a week. Oh my God. So I'm a little speaker, and like I'm outside Suzanne's going, ladies, I got a special for you. 2-for-1 culottes. Oh my God. Like you can have one pair in the car.
I know, yeah.
You can have one pair. Like I was just copying my dad because he was like the master of bullshit, basically. The hustler.
It's a good life skill, isn't it?
It is. It is.
true.
Although
Di calls it the sizzle.
That little
Yes.
bit of
a little bit of the sizzle.
Little bit of
you know, like
sizzle.
that, you
Well, in
know.
radio,
Shizzle.
Exactly.
Shizzle. It's imperative to have some sizzle in your
Sizzle.
life.
in radio, we always say you sell the sizzle, not the sausage.
Let's get into
Sorry.
radio. It's killing
Yes,
me.
I know, I will.
It's
So,
killing me.
all right, so this
You
is how I
little
got into radio
sprout.
because I'm
Yeah.
spruiking. And
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of radio because I was like, I want to be an actress. And it's funny because Tony Bonner, remember from Skippy?
Yeah, we
Yes.
do.
I
He
used
was
to have
my-
the hots for him.
Oh, mate.
didn't.
Mate,
I
my
mean,
God,
really.
Skippy!
Skippy!
Skippy the bush kangaroo! What's that, Skip? Right? What's that?
I
There's
loved
a
it.
bus on fire
And
down
for
there.
anyone younger, if
What?
you haven't listened to Skippy,
And I only learned
watch-
recently that they'd used 2 cut-off kangaroo paws for him to, the close-ups of him doing shit with his paws. And I'm like,
Honestly, you look back now and you think you were so hooked.
I know.
You know?
Oh,
Skippy,
so-
someo's
I
getting
loved
murdered.
it.
I know,
I
someone's
used to
going to...
Ready, everyone
cry,
do
sit in
Skippy.
front of the
Ready, 1, 2,
TV
3.
and then-
I know, I loved him. So
And the way
Tony,
Skippy spoke.
I know, and he understood him.
man,
Sonny
I
understood
loved
him.
it.
Was Sonny?
Sorry, we
So
totally
How do we get to
digress.
Skippy?
Tony.
I love it.
Okay.
Tony, I
babe.
get.
Tony Bonner up on the
Yeah.
Gold Coast. It was Paula Duncan and John Orchick's School of Acting, and I was Tony Bonner was my acting teacher, and I just remember like having to do some scene, and it was a really serious scene, and I was like, and he was like, Bianca, like you're too expressive, like as in he wasn't being. It was like
No.
the scene required me to be. It was probably like Othello or some Shakespeare or something. And I was like, oh, and well, like my dad is so expressive.
Right.
And I'd grown up, there's not one photo of me as a child where I'm not going, I like, shut your
I
mouth.
love it.
Shut your mouth. So Tony just said to me, I don't know if acting's for you. I don't know. And so I just went, oh my God, I was devoed. So I thought, all right. So fast forward, I'm like, I've got to rethink this. I was going to be a famous actress. What the fuck am I going to do?
Wow.
And I'm on the mic spruiking, And a guy walks past and I was just being funny. Like I was just making up my own shit and entertaining myself basically because like there was 4 people there at this particular time, like 11 o'clock in the morning and I'm like outside Suzanne's.
And a dog.
And a dog. 4 people and a dog and a cockroach and that's it. And I'm on the mic. So I just was entertaining myself.
Yeah.
And this guy walks past and goes, "You're hilarious. You should be on the radio." And
Wow, see?
See what you're saying? It could be a random person.
sliding doors
yes.
moments.
That's it.
Because I was like,
Yeah.
Love this.
radio. And then I thought about it, and I grew up listening to Suki Mead and Dean Miller, who Dean went on to do Triple M, and Suki Mead was just a legend in radio, and she's such a good egg. And they were the morning crew on CFM on the Gold Coast. And I listened to them on the way to school in the car. And she was this husky, outspoken, fucking mentor, but in the best possible way.
Yeah,
the
kind.
perfect breakfast announcer because she had no filter. She didn't care what people thought about her. And he was like the voice of reason, but fun, like the big brother.
Who am I thinking this person could be?
I basically think about that's
you.
who I ended up
That's it.
becoming on
Wow.
air.
Yeah.
That's
So
astounding.
I was desperate to get into radio. So I went into CFM on the Gold Coast, which was CFM and Gold FM and duopoly, and I just hounded them. I was
Good
in there
girl.
going, what can I
See,
do?
brave.
Give
I
me a
love
gig.
that someone put that in, that seed, and then you went, right.
Germinate.
I got a call, so I was spruiking again at the Oasis Shopping Centre, and I got a missed thing on my pager. Remember those?
Yes.
And it said like, call Rod Bryce from Gold FM, and I was like, oh my god. So as soon as I had my 15-minute break, I raced off, rang him back, and he goes, "I've got a job for you," and I went, "I'll take it." And he goes, "You haven't even heard where
It's
it is."
cleaning
I
up
said,
the
"I don't
kitchen."
care. I don't care."
So
He
you know,
goes,
11 out of 10
I
for
know.
enthusiasm.
Yeah,
too.
right on. Well
So I
said.
took it and I was out at Buttfuck, Idaho, Harvey Bay, Maryborough, and I was the promotions manager. I was the Love Songs After Dark announcer, like, so Paul, you're driving your big truck tonight down the highway. Can I get a bit of Sade on for you tonight? Like I was all,
I love
and
that.
I was a
What
kid
fun.
pretending that I knew all these old
Wow.
songs. I was like, who's fucking Creedence Clearwater Revival?
Yeah.
I'm just playing all these songs.
I need a revival, she
I know.
says.
I need a
Wow.
revival. So then fast forward, I was there for nearly a year and then a job came up at CFM in Gosford as the breakfast announcer. So I was down in Gosford, which is just an hour away from here. We were there for 18 months. Unfortunately, I was thrown in with a guy and look, we got along really well, but you can't fucking, as you know, we had chemistry, but I was so green. I had breakfast radio in that market. Like, it's a big market. And I was 23 going, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And I was just following him. And I probably shouldn't have been following him because he didn't really know what the fuck he was doing either. And he was a lot older
Sounds
than
like
me.
a train wreck when you put it,
It
like
is,
that.
and so many radio
Truly.
shows can be and are because these guys up above think, oh, I'll just put this person and this
Yes.
person.
It doesn't
and I'll just
always
hope
match,
to fucking
does
God.
it? You know, it's the blend. We've seen it a lot, you know, whether it
true.
is on TV
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
hosting
It's
a
the
show
energy.
or whatever.
You got to have the chemistry.
You've got to have
Yeah,
the chemistry.
I get it.
You, know.
You can't fake it.
You can't fake
No.
it.
So then that show got
And you
axed.
daddy.
You can't.
A 40-year friendship.
I love
It's
that.
so true.
But see what
So
I mean?
true.
You
Yeah.
guys finish each other's
do.
sentences, and that's beautiful. That's what you want. So that show got axed, and I'll never forget. I remember sitting in this boardroom. It was just 6 men, and they're all just sitting there, and I'm just I'm the only female, and they were like, "So we're going to axe the show." But again, another sliding doors moment. They said, "But there's a job up on the Gold Coast, and it's a national show with 14. It goes to 14 of our markets. No cap cities. So in radio, that's called provincial. So it was called they named it the Nightmix. The Nightmix After Dark with Bianca Dye. And so I went to Mackay, Townsville, Devonport, bloody
Awesome.
Gosford.
You're hosting your own show, which is cool.
I have my own show, and the beautiful part
What was the time slot?
It was nighttime. So
Yeah,
it was
so
like,
what, like-
6 till
Okay,
midnight.
great.
But I'd pre-record, so I'd get in
Yeah.
there early and I'd pre-record. But I had to
Perfect.
pre-record for all the different markets so that when I hit one particular button, Mackay would have me going, the Mackay markets are on Saturday in the mall and all that. And then in Gosford.
Well, you can spruik.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
perfect.
Then when I press the save
There's
button,
no one
though,
better,
it'd be
you
a
know.
localiser for Gosford, so that every town thought I was there
Wow,
at their
brilliant.
local thing. It was
Perfect.
clever. It was
Yeah.
networking, which
How long did you do that for?
I did that. So I did that for probably nearly 18 months.
Good grounding for your future.
Well, this is what happened. I won an award for that. So I won what they were called the RA Awards back then, but now it's called an ACRA. So it's the Australian Commercial Radio
congratulations. That's
Awards.
huge.
It was. I went on to win a few more things. But anyway, that's right here to there. But that award was a massive sliding doors. Because I won that award, and definitely because I had my tits out because I was just walking around going, oh my God, did you see my award? I was carrying it like, oh my God, I'm not putting this down. Because I won that award, a guy called Dean Buchanan came up to me, who I had never heard of, didn't know who he was, gave me his business card and he said something like, I like your sass. You just won the award as, best announcer in the country for provincial, not like your cap cities, but so we should talk. And I'm like, about what? Like, what? And he goes, well, we're starting a new licence. So this was the first time in 25 years a new licence had come into Sydney, and what we now know is Nova. So I got to start Nova, the very first one with Merica Rosso and Ugly Phil and Rabbit and Kip. And Kip's still doing breakfast. He's up at 97.3. He's actually working at the station that I
That's huge.
got from. So, but I didn't believe him. I was like, what this? And we didn't know the name of the station. I didn't know anything. So I had to send him a cassette tape, and it was 7 minutes. And he goes, right, loved everything you did. Cut it. So I want the same enthusiasm. I want the same amount of information. Get it to me in 3.5 minutes. So I sent him another demo. He goes, right, now do that in 30 seconds.
Wow.
And I went, oh, this guy's on drugs, mate. What the hell's going on? So I did it.
Yeah.
And then I remember running around in my undies in my little apartment in bloody Woodruff Ave in Maney. And Maney Beach. Maney. Zimmer Framey now. But anyway, Zimmer Framey.
That's great.
He said, you got the job. You start in, I can't tell you the name of the station. I can't tell you what shift you'll be doing, but I knew it wouldn't be breakfast.
What city?
Sydney. So
And
I'm on the
Sydney,
Goldie. And
yeah.
he's like, all right, we'll pay for your move, everything.
Brilliant.
You need to be here by February. It was December. You need to be here by February. Pack your life up.
Love it.
Fucking get in your car.
Go.
On your way. And I was like, oh my God.
And
So
that
I
was
got-
the beginning.
That was
That
the
was the beginning of everything.
Wow. And it really turned everything. And
Yeah.
how was it for you?
It was
Because you-
insane. And I look back now, I found my diary. I wish I fucking brought it out.
Tell us some
wow.
stories.
I
from
found my
there.
diary. Oh, God, I must have been such a little shit. I know I was. I know it definitely went to my head a little bit for a while.
Yeah, but
because
in a
you're
way, I
young.
understand
I
that.
know, but I still managed to
know?
have kept so many beautiful friends from those days and whatever. And I feel like I mustn't have been too much of an asshole because I've still got some
No,
beautiful
because you know what you
friendships.
have? You have a heart. And I know
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
I can feel
And you're
it.
a kind
So-
person.
No,
you can
you
see
do.
that. Yeah.
That's your stepping stone where you come from. Because I'm a pretty loud personality too, Bianca. And sometimes you think, I go, whoa, I'm going over the top. But I know I'm always coming back to a good place.
Yeah.
And people know that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They do. And
And
people-
that's important.
Again, saying that, the whole thing of people believing in you before you believe in yourself.
Yes.
Because people would always say to me, I love being around you. You got such good energy. And I love it. And I'd be like, do I? What?
Yeah.
But then that makes sense because my show went to #1 really quickly
Yeah.
because it beat John Laws. Like, how the fuck did that even
Wow.
happen?
Wow.
I know.
Was
And
it?
only once, I think.
No,
I'll
but
take it.
still.
But
a legend
people-
in the industry.
People can feel that authenticity
Yes, well said.
through the speakers.
I'll
and
pay that
hence
comment.
why podcasts are fucking huge because you can be you.
It's
There's
so
no
true. It's long
fake,
form.
there's
It's
no-
real and
it's real.
authentic.
So it was mad. We made such a big ruckus in Sydney and we were the new thing. And remember, there wasn't any, there was no Instagram. Facebook was just, So when there's a new radio station that started and it's got Merica Rosso
Hip and cool.
Ugly Phil, and we were the cool kids. Like I'm looking back now and realising I don't think at the time I didn't feel like that. I didn't think, we're the cool kids. I just went, fuck, I'm so grateful to have this job. So I'd come on after American Rosso. I found out that my shift was 9 till 12. And I loved it. The crazy days. I said I found my diary, like just one page that I can remember. It was like from 2002, which would have been like peak time. I was there till 2008, but 2002 peak time. My diary was like, I've been invited to fly down by the record company to see Prince in Melbourne at the Metro, and I'm like, I might do that. I don't know, I'm pretty tired. And Richard Branson's team have reached out, and Branson's going to be in the Virgin Marquee at Flemington for Cup Day, so I probably should go down for that. So I'll fly down for the weekend for that. I need to find a dress for the Arias. Will I wear this? Who should I borrow a dress from for the Arias? I literally just reading it going, what the fuck? Like, my life was insane. And thank God I kept a diary because I wouldn't have I remember certain moments.
Of course.
But I was like, wow, you were all, and no wonder I ended up also ended up getting chronic fatigue for a while because I was
Full on.
9 till 12 Nova. Then I got offered my own show on Arena TV because beautiful Sheree
On which?
Romero.
Sorry, on which on?
It was on Arena TV, which was, I think, derivative of Foxtel.
I remember
It's not
Arena
around
TV.
anymore.
No, I
Right.
do remember.
It's not around anymore,
Right.
but
My
it was
kids went on it actually. For
So you were
something.
doing
that
too
they
at the
did
same
went
So
on
I
it.
got
time.
offered. Well, I got offered because I became the girl around
Yeah,
town.
right,
And
get it.
because I was single. So
Yeah.
this was the beautiful part. By default, because American Rosso, such talent,
Yeah.
but not like me in that I'm a fucking hustler and I'm out there. So there would be pictures of me in the social pages every weekend. And the boys, they're not like that. They're very cool, calm and collected. They don't need all that bullshit. Whereas I was single. And I'm getting called up by, Maya going, we'll send a car. And if you'd like to come in and choose a dress. And I'm like, yeah.
I have to borrow one.
Whereas American Rosso weren't, they weren't interested in
they're
that.
blokes and, yeah,
They didn't care. So
T-shirt and jeans.
because I was so out there, I became kind of the one that got that attention because the boys were like, well, they didn't need it. They were so talented. They didn't need to go out and hustle and do all the bullshit. So I was there going, well, I've got nothing else to do. I'll go to whatever. And that's how I met Richard Branson because I remember...
Tell us an
we
experience.
want to know. Tell us about
with
Richard.
All right, I'm going to try and
Dickie.
keep this quick because it's such a funny story.
Gotta have a sip, but that one.
It's a really funny story.
Cheers.
Shame it's
Cheers!
water.
I know. Can we
Cheers to
turn
the
it on
vino.
next time?
Can we
Let's
turn
open
water
that
into
Lisa
wine?
McGuigan wine.
Sorry, American Rosso, because they come from Triple J, they were still very much anti, which is what made them so fucking cool. They were anti really hyped up commercialism bullshit, and they were
Right.
very funny about who they had on their show. I mean, they were number one and they changed the game, so they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, right.
And I respected them so much. I was like,
Yeah.
they think I'm such a, and they did because they used to pay out on me like, oh, in the
course.
social pages again this weekend, and
love
I'd be
it.
like, was I? Oh, good. I need to cut that out. Anyway,
Exactly, for my scrap.
I didn't care because I was like, I don't give a fuck. So they, I could be wrong with this, but I think they either didn't want to or they couldn't interview Richard Branson. I don't want to say they didn't want to because I can't remember if that's
Right, either
but it
or,
was
yeah.
something like that. And so basically, they said, "Oh, do you want to go and do it?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I go to Circular Quay to this big building, pardon me, and this big fancy building, and I'm there with all my gear to do an interview with him, and he was hilarious. So we're in this big boardroom, big oak table. As soon as we met, great, like his energy, holy shit. There's a reason why he's Richard Branson.
Of course.
Like he's amazing. And we were just riffing and I was probably like this and tits outs. He was probably like, oh, hello. And I was like, hi. He's married,
Yes,
but you know.
exactly.
Hey.
Yeah, he's
I was
nothing
like,
wrong with
hi.
his eyesight, that's for sure.
Yeah, right on.
Yes. And I can't remember how this happened, but he sort of convinced me to play. He's a massive prankster, plays massive jokes on people. And I think that's what's kept him so young because he's just got this incredibly childlike energy
Yeah,
about him. His
beautiful.
innocence.
Love that.
And he convinced me to. So he goes, "There's going to be a big meeting, a board meeting in here in 10 minutes." He goes, "Can you get under the table with me and let's pretend like we're going for it because all these people, we were fully clothed.
Oh my God.
All these people are going to come in, and
What a
of course,
story.
me, I'm like,
How old are you at this stage?
27.
Oh my God, I love this.
So I can't remember how old he was. Obviously,
Yeah.
a lot older than
Yeah.
me. So we're under the table, but fully clothed and not even touching each other. And
So
I'm like,
good.
oh, Richard, oh, you're amazing. And he was like laughing and like it was clearly a joke. But we couldn't see, so all I could see were all these like Gucci loafered shoes, like all these men shuffling in, and then hearing like, oh, Richard. I mean, he's married. We would never have.
Yes.
But it's obviously.
good.
But it was just funny. It was just a joke.
Yes.
And then you can hear all these guys going, get out. Watch yourself. And like they all shuffled out and
How
shut the
fabulous.
door.
And shut the door.
And shut the
I
door,
love
and
this.
he and I were on the floor, like, well, obviously we're on the floor, we're
yes,
under the
yes.
table, but laughing. And I just remember thinking, what the fuck just happened? That was hilarious.
I
don't
love
think
it.
I'd hit record, though, because I don't have any proof of that, because I was so thrown, and
That's
also
a story and a half.
shit with using the equipment. I was like, why are you sending me out with all this? I don't know what I'm doing. But We went outside
It's
and Richard was laughing.
incredible. And that's why he is ageless.
Yes.
Yes, it
because
is.
everything about aging is, I get older and learn, it's all in your mind.
Yes.
It's not your body.
No.
It's all in your mind.
Yep.
He still is childlike.
Yes, and
And
that's
I'm
how-
sure he
that's kept
plays
him.
pranks like that now.
I think he does.
You know,
but
what
that
fun.
That ended up
You
becoming a
know?
friendship because he trusted me. Because he knew that I
Absolutely.
could be someone that. So we went out, we laughed, we told them, like, I'm fully dressed. I was
exactly.
like, nothing happened. Blah, 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 blah. And the guy's like, oh, fucking Richard, Jesus. Like, he's like, I've gone
hoot.
That
great.
is so funny seeing those loafers.
Yeah,
That's
go
Yes.
back.
Oh my
Go
god.
So
forward
then
back.
Wow,
we
I love
became kind of mates. So whenever he come to Australia, he's
wow.
like
You
they.
didn't get an invite to Necker Island, did you?
I've
'Cause we know
never
a few
been-
people who've done
I
that.
haven't been to Necker.
Yes.
I feel like I should reach out and say, oi.
Yeah.
But
He'd say,
we-
come along and have some fun.
He probably would.
Yeah.
We got invited to be on the very first ever flight that Virgin did from an international flight, which was Brisbane to LA.
That would have been with
So-
Leslie Hancock on. She actually
Yes.
dressed up as Ab Fab.
Yes.
And,
Do you
and,
remember
she, and she
her?
had the.
I'd
and
need
she,
to
and
see
she
the
was
photo.
in the. I'll show you
Yeah.
the photos there. And
Sitting
he
on his
actually
lap.
employed her because he saw her do a gig, and he loved it. So and she was the whole thing. Had to sit on his lap, and she was played like the Qantas hosties, but like the Ab Fab one
my
with the bottle of
God,
vodka.
I
Because he was a prankster even
I
back
wish,
there.
Yes,
you
I
know.
wish I had more
His
photos.
whole
It
life.
was
Yeah.
like Denny Hines, Mike Goldman, Lisa Curry Kenny, bloody Tanya Zayda. Like there was just all these
What a
showbiz
hoot.
people. And it was just a flight straight to LA. It was hilarious. Richard painted my toenails on the flight. It was hilarious.
Go figure that.
Because I was
With
painting them and he was
turbulence
like,
or not?
I know there was turbulence. And we were all drinking
owns the airline.
massages.
No,
It's
but how
private jet.
fabulous.
But it was like Virgin then was so exciting because you could get a massage on the plane and they had cocktails and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is, oh my God. Like
They're groundbreaking, really.
Groundbreaking.
I love it.
Stayed in LA for 3 days at the Mondrian and then flight back. And so
Wow.
then, and he ended up
All
coming
from making out under the table, you know.
He came to a
And
dinner
you know
party.
what? It's the mere fact that she went, sure, why not? Let's have some
Exactly.
fun.
But like I messaged
Yeah,
him when
other
he was in
women go,
Melbourne
no,
and he
thanks.
showed up to like a restaurant that I was at and just came in and said hi. And I just remember the whole restaurant, my dad and my stepmom going, fucking Richard Branson's here to say hello to you. And I'm like, g'day,
G'day.
Dickie!
Yeah.
Hi!
Yeah,
And
he's
That's
he's
so-
very,
that was a bottle of wine that
very
just fell over.
cool.
Sorry,
he
Connie.
is. And
I'm not chewing on you.
Yeah.
they sent me
Oh, my
over
goodness.
for my 50th. You know, they started Virgin Voyages.
Yeah.
They sent me on a cruise because I was like, oh my God, that's because I hadn't really stayed in touch. I lost touch. I went off and did another life and I was in Wollongong doing breakfast radio for 7 years and I just lost touch with that. I just did after that many years. And his PA left and I was like, how the fuck you can't just email Richard Branson
No,
direct. You got to
no.
go through people.
Sure.
So I ended up getting back in touch and beautiful Nathan, who works for him, they sent me on one of their Virgin Voyages cruises for my 50th and I went on my own and I loved it. People are like, you on your own? I'm like, I travel on my own all the time. I was walking around Barcelona fucking in heaven.
And do you
Yeah,
love
of course.
I
Yeah,
love it.
I get it.
I think because I'm an
Fun.
only child too. My dad
Yes.
remarried and I've got a
Yes.
beautiful brother and sister, Alex and Ben. Alex is in Dubai doing amazing things with Apple. My little brother's head of visual merchandise for Adidas in Melbourne. Like they're little absolute ass kickers. Like they're great kids. But I was 15 when one of them was. So I've sort of been alone. I was alone. I was used to being in my own world. And I love traveling alone. And people are like, oh, don't you get bored? And I'm like, fucking
Gives you
no.
freedom.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, because I meet people if I want to. So I go to a tapas bar. Like the cruise went to Mallorca, Cannes, Ibiza, and then back to Barcelona and then somewhere at Provence.
What a lovely gift.
It was, I know, I was fucking like,
great?
trust me, I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. I was
And
so
gift
grateful.
and also gig. You know, this is from
yeah,
radio.
and also
Exactly.
I
The gig
promoted it.
Yeah,
Like I
true.
said to them,
It's brilliant.
I
Of course.
I
It's-
talked about
you're
it
a
on the radio.
spruiker.
I know. I was like, don't worry, I did all the stories and whatever.
So
and on-
let's move
Okay,
on from.
yes.
Let's continue on the journey. So, how many years with Nova?
About nearly 8.
Okay, and then you went on to.
So I got a bit disenchanted. I was a bit shitty because I was like, I'm ready to do breakfast or drive. Like I was a little bit, and I say this, I'm trying to be humble, but fuck it. I was a bit of a game changer for mornings announcers because back in the day, if you were a mornings announcer, you were what you call a music jock. And all the cool interviews and all the good shit happened in breakfast and drive. And mornings was just, hey guys, there's a big build up on Piermont Bridge today. It's 18 degrees coming up. We've got a great one from Wolf Mother. That's it, like short breaks. And I just like, I would be naughty, right? So I remember American Rosso would have these big stars on, because I was so lucky. I was in prepping while they were on air. So I'm in at work at 7:30 and they're on air in the studio
So
right
you're meeting
there.
them all.
Yes.
So
which
as
is
these
wonderful.
big stars go past,
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, Tommy Lee, come in here. And the record company reps hated me. Because they'd be like, no, we've got to go to Today FM or Triple. Fuck, we're on a B. And I'm like, come on in, big boy. So I grabbed like John Mayer, whoever I could, because they had to walk past my studio.
I love
Go
this.
So
girl.
I'd be there going,
Seize the day.
carpe diem,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
So they'd come in and I'd get these little grabs. And so I made that shift into a bit of a rock star shift because but I still had to keep it tight. It wasn't allowed
So
to be.
you'd actually interview them as well?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But what I love is, so it was me interviewing them.
Ballsy.
So most announcers would use a grab of of American Rosso. But I'd be cheeky and I'd be like,
Yeah.
American Rosso had Tommy Lee in this morning and he said this to them.
Yeah.
Play the grab. But when he walked past the studio, I thought, I want to know what Pamela was wearing on that night. So I asked him this. And then I'd play my
Boom.
grab. So I'd give American Rosso their credit because it was their guest.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to disrespect
No.
them. But then I actually had me interviewing the big names too. And that's how I ended up getting the show Access All Areas with Bianca Dye. And I interviewed Quentin Tarantino,
And that was with
Nicole
which
Kidman.
station was that one?
That was on TV.
Oh,
So that was
television,
arena,
right.
like Foxtel. So
Okay.
Nicole Kidman, Heath Ledger.
Wow,
Interviewed Heath.
wow.
He did
That's
not like
wonderful,
me.
having your own show.
That
Wow,
was
that's
like I look
huge.
back now and go, I would kill for that gig.
Yeah.
Like I
But you had
would.
it, which was wonderful.
I know, but it
know.
only lasted about a year, and I
Okay.
think because I wasn't grateful enough. Like I was so burnt out.
Yeah. I bet.
Burning the candle at both ends. The
Yeah.
show sucked everything out of me.
Yeah.
I'm hosting events everywhere around town. I was the bloody. I think I won the Kerry Ann Kennelly Award of going to the opening of a back gate.
I love it.
I literally won that, and I was so honoured. I was like, I love CAC.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
care.
we love
but
it.
I was everywhere, and I think now looking back, that was my ADHD desperately wanting the dopamine fix. I was also single, so it's not like
I was just going to
and
say,
no kids.
I was just going to say,
Yes,
no,
yeah.
with all this happening in your career and it's buzzing and it's like it's exciting. That how were you and how's your personal life through all this? Going through all these stages of your life.
It was a
Okay,
clusterfuck.
can you share a bit about
Yeah,
that?
absolutely, absolutely. So, I'll quickly finish that. I just
Yes.
burnt out. So I remember them ringing me, and it was a pretty big name. I can't remember who, and I was on holidays in Port Douglas, and they were like, "Can you fly back?" I don't know. I did Ricky Martin. I can't remember. It was a big name, and they were like, "We've managed to secure this person. They're here for a film premiere. Can you fly back early from your holiday?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "No." Like, I took it for granted because now I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll be on the first flight,"
Right.
Because I know how
That sounds
hard it is.
empowering.
It was empowering,
Like,
but it was also
wow.
a bit.
What was that about?
It was also
The-
a bit
the
fucking
no.
ungrateful. I was fucked. I was so
Okay.
burnt out.
And you don't always get those opportunities again, as you know,
No.
in that.
But-
So it's a fine line, isn't
Yeah.
it?
But I thought I would, right?
And
That's the
dependable
cockiness.
You know.
Bianca, she'll be there.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's the cockiness
And
of
what
being
did they do?
32
Oh
and a
my
rock star. I was
God.
like, I'm not, no.
And
I'm
everyone is replaceable, no matter who you are.
So
Oh,
you
yes.
said no because you actually couldn't.
I was just so tired. The thought of leaving Port Douglas and going down to Sydney and prepping for this interview because I did most of my own research, getting on camera. That it is so exhausting interviewing big stars because I say that with love because like what a
Yes.
gift to be able to do it. But I take it seriously, so I do all the research and this and that. And I knew it would be like an intense day of filming, and then I'd have to come back to Port Douglas, and then I'd only have 2 days. And I just remember going, no, I'm not coming back. And I think that was the beginning of the end because they were like, all right, you ungrateful little shit. So I think the show just naturally imploded.
And how did that affect you with
Well,
the
at the-
2 letters of no? Like ultimately, did you have regrets or did you say good on you,
Regrets
Bianca?
now?
No,
because-
then when you said no, because
No,
that's
I
a
don't
big
think-
deal
I don't
to say
think
no.
I did because I think, as I said, I think I was so cocky. I was
Okay,
like,
so you were still riding the high. No, don't
Oh,
want to do that. See
yeah,
ya. Okay.
yeah. I didn't
got
think it would be the end of the show.
Okay.
But looking back now, I'm like, I
Right.
probably
Interesting.
fucked that up.
But
So
your
how
body
did you
won.
handle that then? You know, you're sort of saying
I was
things
exhausted.
weren't well.
Yeah.
And I was single at that time, but I now realise, oh my God, I've done so much work and so much therapy and fucking EMDR
It's good to be
and
able to
everything.
share this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was dating men who, what happens is, so the one that I was dating when I was probably at the prime of my career, he was a sweetheart, a lovely guy, but absolutely not right for me. And I was desperately trying to get the love that the daddy issues sitch, because Dad was an amazing dad, but very much one day I was the apple of his eye, and the next day he'd be yelling at me and go to your room. And so I was constantly in this fight or flight stage as a young girl. So of course we repeat those patterns until we make the decision to do the work and sit with shit and deal with it and unpack it. And I had no idea about unpacking or doing any of that back in those days. So I just kept attracting the lessons that the universe wanted me to learn. And
Very positive,
Isn't it? Yeah.
well, it is, because
And
I
it's
look
very
back
mature
now,
take now too. It's someone who's done the work to
it was so
acknowledge
obvious
that.
to me now as turning 52 soon. It's so
But
obvious to me.
hindsight's a big thing, and we all know that. You look back and go, wow, I would never do that again.
I want to cuddle.
So you're with this
me.
guy that you shouldn't have been
Well,
with.
we were trying.
Yeah.
We were sort of trying to have kids, but we weren't. And I was so busy being this fucking rock star,
Yes.
and traveling all around the country and hosting this and TV. But I never sort of thought,
Grounded.
because I didn't grow up with the picket fence and mum and dad and
Yes,
perfect, and we
of
all sit down for
course.
dinner and we love each other and namaste. I didn't grow up with that, so I never had that as a role model to go, I want to have that. So we never really had the chat, and then he just wasn't right for me. And looking back now, I'm like, I was trying to fit a square peg into a round hole with so many of my relationships. But I was attracting that because I could go off and do what I wanted to do. And I was probably ignoring the fact that the relationship was absolutely falling apart. But I was so ambitious and so in need of that constant gratification of doing all the showbiz stuff, because clearly big voids, insecurities. So, but I didn't know that at the time. I'm just off being busy. And he and I, it just imploded. It
And
was
how long
just
were you with
so
him
bad.
for?
Like 7 years.
Wow.
But basically most of my childbearing years, right? So then I sort of woke
Yes.
up one day, and I'll never forget this. Who Weekly did this big spread, and it said, they didn't tell me the title at the time. They just said, we're interviewing successful women in their chosen careers, like Sandra Sully and myself. And I just remember being in awe that I was with all these names, right? But then when I opened the magazine, like 3 weeks later when it came out, it said women who've chosen career over family.
Wow.
Oh, it's cheeky,
well,
isn't it?
that's mind blowing.
Mate,
That's
but
naughty.
Mate,
That's
that's the
naughty.
amount of times that happened to me
How
in my
often
career.
is that? You've got no idea.
Now that's the thing
But I was
about being in
mortified.
media. You're so caught up in it. It's not
Yeah.
just going 9 to 5 to a job, J-O-B. It's a lifestyle.
It is a life.
So you get caught up in it. You
I
can't
was-
help it.
And
yeah.
you get caught up in the bullshit.
And then you go, I've
hold
got to
on.
have a child.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like that Andy
I'd like
Warhol.
one, but, what?
Wasn't that
Yeah.
Andy Warhol like sticker that I had one on the fridge, and it's like some blonde girl going, "Oops, I forgot to have kids."
Yes.
and I'm like,
yeah.
when I saw that article, I went,
Yeah.
"Oh fuck, is that how people see me?"
Slap.
Wow.
Oh, is that how people see me? This selfish, career-driven, ambitious woman that doesn't want a family, and I was like,
How incredible.
How old were you then,
that was
Bianca?
confronting.
Like how old?
Maybe 35,
Gee.
36.
Young.
And I was like, I haven't chosen
No.
anything. But it was good because it made me go, well, what
You'd sit up and listen.
am I fucking choosing? I've literally let my career take me.
Yes.
What do I want to do?
Yeah.
So that's when I left Nova, and I think they were happy to see me go because I was a bit rambunctious. I was antsy. I wanted to do Breakfast or Drive. They put me on Drive with Tim Blackwell. Who now, of course, I mean, he's one of the best announcers in the country.
know Tim.
He's lovely.
And, you know, Kate, Tim and Marty was the original and all
Yes,
that.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was the Drive show that I was on first with Tim. But he and I don't know, I enjoyed working with him. But it's funny because off air, we had great chemistry. But also he was very young and I was very feisty and whatever. And I just think on air, we clashed a bit. But off air, we got along really well. So, they ended up just saying, look, we're going to leave Tim on Drive because he's a brilliant anchor and get whoever. And I got replaced by Akmal and beautiful, rest in peace, Cal Wilson. And
that's
they were
so sad. Yeah.
fucking terrible. They were hilarious. And I was like, oh, okay, they're replacing me with comedians. Okay, so and they put me back in mornings on 9 till 12, which I was very grateful for because I could have just gone, see ya.
Look, it is a brutal industry, isn't it? Like you know, as
It
I was
is.
saying with
It's
some other people
so
too
brutal.
in that
True.
industry. But just even personally, did you then make a decision going, look, actually, I do actually want to settle down, have kids, or going? It's not for everyone anyhow.
Ripple effect
How
from
were
that
you, or did you
magazine.
actually seek help then, or support, or was it
So-
available?
The relationship, so I decided, right, I'm not at Nova, I'm not working. Okay, great. So my partner at the time and this guy, we decided, fuck it, let's just go overseas. So we travelled overseas and that's when our relationship totally broke up.
Right.
Because we just, all of a sudden we're there together all the time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
COVID did to so many relationships because everyone's like,
Make or break it. Yeah.
That is
who
true.
are you?
Yeah.
I'm normally like you're brushing your teeth together for 2 minutes in the morning.
Yeah.
You're coming home, you're cooking dinner, kids, loads of washing. You might
true.
casually have a bit of a slip-in, bit of fucking sex on a Sunday morning if you're lucky. But you see each other for 2 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
relationships with two busy people. All of a sudden, we were in each other's face for fucking 24 hours.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, we're not meant to be together. And it was heartbreaking. So we split and it was horrible for a while. Not fun. Neither of our, like it was just, he was fine and I was fine. It was just yucky. I mean, is there such a thing as a good breakup?
I was going to
No.
say, I
Like,
don't think
fuck
any
you,
no
Gwyneth,
such
with
thing.
your conscious uncoupling.
Any breakup is ever fun, no
no
matter
conscious
how
uncoupling.
amicable it is. It's still heartbreak at the time for
It is.
either one.
It is.
It's not fun.
And then I went into a bit of a wasteland because I was like, holy shit, I thought it was going to be really easy to get back into radio and get a gig. And so there I am living in this little shitty one-bedroom apartment in Bondi, just like going for gigs, auditioned for Triple M, Brisbane. I was like, oh, surely I'm going to get it. Didn't get it. I just was so cocky and so believed in myself. I was like, oh, I'll get a gig. 6 months later, I'm still not working, using up all my savings, doing a bit of voiceover work here and there. And I was like, holy shit. So then I found out about this station called C91.3 in Campbelltown, and they were looking for weekend announcers. And I was like, oh fuck! I've gone from number one Nova, the biggest station in the country, winning. I won multiple awards with them for being best announcer in the country. Wank, wank, wank. Fuck! Isn't it funny? Like how life can just pull the rug out and go, oi, we've got some lessons for you to learn, and they're going to be hard. So fucking belt up and strap on.
Yeah.
Let's go. Strap on? No, that was another.
That's a
Belt
interesting
up,
one.
strap in.
Yeah.
Woo!
Whoa, woohoo!
Oh,
See where that
my
landed?
God.
Did you see where that landed?
The
Exactly.
universe
That's right.
was like,
Yeah,
don't you
well,
strap
look
me
at
on.
that. Don't strap me on.
Jesus.
Well, you know
So,
microphones more than anyone.
So did you
know.
take
I
that gig?
I ate a big dose of humble pie.
Yeah.
I thought I was too good for that. You know, I really did. I was like, oh,
How long
but
were you there?
to Campbelltown.
How long were you there for?
Well, wait, this is how the
Yeah.
universe works, right?
Yeah.
'Cause and B, you've got to be so open to the signs.
Yeah.
Because I ate humble pie, what I thought was humble pie, it's a brilliant radio station. Like it is, I should be so lucky to do their weekend shift. But at the time, I didn't think that because I didn't know, I'd never heard of it. I go out there, I do 2 shifts. I was terrible because I'm shit at anchoring by that stage. I'd forgotten all the skills and I didn't put the news on, and my boss is ringing me going, that's the second time this morning the news hasn't gone to air, Dal. Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. No. So, but by the second shift, the boss rang me, who looked after C91.3 and I98 FM in Wollongong, and said, do you want to come and do breakfast radio here in Wollongong?
Oh, wow.
And I went, Wollongong?
Brilliant.
I've heard of Wollongong. What? I think, okay. And again, I thought, do I want to move to Wollongong? Okay, fast forward, best 7 years of my life.
Yeah, brilliant.
Wow.
Loved it.
Brilliant. Real community.
Oh,
Yeah.
best station,
Gorgeous.
best people. I had the best time. Dated a guy down there as well. That didn't end. That ended as well. But that's life. I just had the most incredible time down there, and I became such a part of the community. And I realised what it's like to just when radio can actually really impact people's lives. So we did some amazing fundraisers. They have this thing called the Convoy, I98 Convoy, with all these trucks and raising. I'm talking millions of dollars for kids who some are terminal, some aren't, for kids with cancer. And Camp Quality it was at the time. And I still get messages now from the kids who might have been 4 or 5 at the time who are going through chemo and have survived and amazing, from their families now going, oh my God, you were unbelievable.
Now, that must be rewarding for you when you hear things like that.
That was such a beautiful, humble, because I've gone from the rock
It's
star
actually
in
it's regional radio.
provincial, yeah.
Yeah, I call it regional.
It
It's
is
from my
yeah.
era, and because I had a TV show at Newcastle.
Yeah.
It's very much one big family, and they feel like they know you really well.
Oh, and you're in their lives every day. Like Nova
it's
was
lovely.
different. I still get people saying now, "Oh, you were hilarious. I'd listen
Yeah.
to you at work, whatever. You were hilarious." But with I98 people, they're like, "I listened to you I was there for 7 years on air.
It's a long time.
They were like, I listened to you from grade 6 to
It's
year 9
huge.
every day.
It's huge for
Every
people in the car.
morning.
You become a real
It's
part of
true.
their life.
So true.
It's
I agree.
unbelievable. And I've still got besties there. And I'm so honoured because Jen Gordon, who's now in charge down there, she's amazing, and Tia and Jabin and the team, they still ring me and I go and fill in.
I love that.
So, and I'm so honoured when I go back, and I don't take it for granted. Like that, I had to learn my lessons the hard way.
And, Bianca, I just want to say that too, you are very gracious because, you certainly, when you sort of say, I fucked up here, or I could have done here, or whatever, everyone in life goes through different things in that way. What would you say to sort of people who are listening who sort of go, look, well, I won't get that job, or I should have done this, or, we all make mistakes in life. Yeah. I mean, we're all, what would you say to sort of help people?
I don't like, I think I get this from my dad and my grandma. I don't like to live life in regret because I already have anxiety. I was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. I have ADHD. I've got all the fucking fun ones. And that getting hooked up on shouldn't have dated him because I could have dated someone else and then I might have had kids. And when you start getting hooked and bogged down on that, it's such a negative energy for your body. And I'm a big believer in the whole manifesting, that you manifest what you are going through at the time. So if you're feeling good and you're feeling positive, you bring in that kind of vibe. If you're feeling like shit, and you're allowed to feel like shit, that will still happen. But I just know if I sat in that mud for too long and went, I should have tried to keep that TV show. I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have quit Nova. No, because I now feel like I'm in the second half of my life, best chapter.
Next chapter.
And I want to do so many amazing things. I want to write my one-woman show. I want to write a stand-up show. I've already kind of written bits. I want to do my book. I was very lucky to be a part of a TV show earlier in the year, which I cannot say anything about.
Exciting.
Which stay tuned, which will be fun to watch. And, I just think take the risk. There is the rocking chair theory, and I feel like a bit of a fucking hypocrite saying this.
But what's that, the rocking chair?
The rocking chair theory is don't get hooked up on the little things that when you're 80, 70, 80, 90, and you're in the rocking chair on the balcony, wherever you are, in a nursing home or on your beautiful farm in Byron, who fucking knows, whatever, what are you going to regret or remember? You're not going to remember that you didn't get invited to your best friend's birthday, you had a fight, whatever. You're going to remember the beautiful risks that you took. You're going to remember the scary risks that you took. You might regret that. So the rocking chair theory is basically, I'm not getting it right, perimenopause, fog brain. You're not going to remember the small shitty stuff, as in don't sweat the small stuff. What are you going to think about when you're in your rocking chair? The beautiful relationships you nurtured, whether it be family, your chosen family, the risks you took, that moment that you said yes to that trip with your girlfriend because you just went, oh, fuck it. The moment that you stood there and went in the kitchen, I don't want to be married to you anymore. I'm miserable, and you took that leap, and that was terrifying, and you were worried about the kids. But guess what? They're fine now, and I'm so glad because if I'd stayed in that marriage, I would have been so miserable for the rest of my life. Like, you remember the big things. So I try and remember that, but I'm also a hypocrite because I've been meaning to start my own podcast and write my book and do the stand-up comedy show.
Still young, Bianca. You've got
18
lots of time.
months since I lost my gig, right? Since our CFM breakfast show got axed. Everyone's like, you got to do a podcast. You've got to write a book. You should do stand-up comedy. And I get frozen in, and I'm now learning with ADHD, it's executive dysfunction, which I had no idea
It's becoming,
about.
I don't know whether it's becoming, say, we're saying more common, but it just seems to be more people are getting diagnosed now with it.
It's been around forever.
It's been around forever.
Needs to be, but the diagnosing now seems to be people aren't being aware of it until they're in their midlife.
Peri, because, I'm listening to so many podcasts. There's a great one called ADHD Chatter. It's purely about that. The Neurodivergent Mind is a brilliant book. Basically, I've always obviously had ADHD, but perimenopause, and you will hear so many stories about this. It brings out and exacerbates all the symptoms. So my coping mechanisms were, I was losing them. There was none. Like I had.
Isn't it good though now? We were saying with Shelley Horton on and that too, which was just great. And it's good now people are becoming more aware of it, and also there's things you can do about it. We're not going crazy,
and you can be open and talk about it.
And don't beat yourself
up.
money,
all those things there.
There is so much grief that comes with me looking back at me knowing now that it was executive dysfunction. So many things I couldn't do properly. Paperwork, things like doing things online. I get such bad anxiety It's almost like dyslexia. Like I just would look at things and go, I can't fucking do it.
Wow.
There's something wrong with me. There's something fucking wrong. And I hid it, and we mask, and I masked forever. It was like you're constantly juggling
you
balls.
also,
Wow.
Bianca, just say something? I just thought was interesting too with brain care.
Yes.
That I saw a thing that they actually studied your brain, and
Yep.
it's interesting because I know sort of with Joe's brother who does things like people with sport and injuries, and like you
Yes.
fell off a horse,
Yes.
and
Fell.
things like that. Whoa, there goes the microphone.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
But it's interesting when they
It never
actually
happens to me.
studied the brain, and I think then when the more you know, you can be a bit more kind to yourself too.
Yes, that's the
So
that's
What did they find in there?
not much.
Let's be
A
serious.
lot of Chardonnay.
a lot of personality. You know,
Chardonnay.
I did.
Well,
Well, there was a lot of activity in certain. I don't want to say the prefrontal cortex, but
they've got a helmet brain care.
Yes.
It's
So funny.
incredible.
it's amazing. And they basically did find out. They were like, yeah, that you definitely got ADHD. But-
Amazing.
But,
Isn't
ADHD
amazing?
can come from and mental health, depression can also come from, and we're seeing so many of these sporting guys now.
A fall,
Falls,
injury.
hits on the
Huge.
head.
Yes.
Oh my God! And
Huge.
so many of these guys are struggling with like suicidally bad
Yeah,
depression, and
it's
like
bad.
because you've hit your fucking head,
Yeah,
concussion.
it's
Like
true.
Yeah.
finally they're realizing that there's a link. Yeah, there's a link.
Yes, yeah.
So-
I've actually just seen a mouth guard that's just come out.
Wow.
That will determine if you've been concussed.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that
How's
brilliant?
That's
See,
amazing.
that's brilliant.
But you know what I love too, in a positive thing, then we're going to sort of have to really wrap it up.
I know.
is,
No,
seriously,
I could talk forever.
But
I'm
also
sorry.
with those
killing
areas that
me.
you can train your brain. So I think there's always hope for different areas.
Yes.
And you're certainly
Yes.
someone that I love you sharing those things there because, you're very generous of, you've been so successful in other areas there, when you feel hard and life's sort of low. And I think so many of us have that. Whereas it's really nice when you can sort of say, go back to that rocking chair, going, live
Yeah.
life without the regrets. Yes,
That's a
there's
good one.
F-ups on the
Yes.
way, but
Yes.
who cares?
And you know what? On that note, I'd really like to, on that particular note, say to you, congratulations with your whirlwind life that you've
Yes.
actually found mindfulness and yoga.
He did. I
had
the
to.
jewels in life are in the silence. It's sacred.
Oh my God.
Just time out.
so much. People are
So
like,
well
you,
done.
Thank you.
Yeah, really.
People are like, you're like this all the time. And I'm like, I'm an introverted extrovert. So I will go out and be on stage in front of 800 people and not nervous, not a problem. Boom. But then I literally will go back home and need to just be in the fetal position for like a day. And that's also Peri and my coping
Are you getting
mechanisms.
treatment for that?
Yes.
Which is
Yeah.
good.
I'm
Just
on
You
the,
have real awareness.
I'm on the HRT path. I haven't.
Great.
I was on
Good girl.
Prometrium, but it was making me too tired. So now I'm getting bloods. I've literally got to find a new doctor on the Gold Coast because my doctor left. I need to find someone because women, you're not going crazy, but Peri, you need to find a doctor that looks after Peri and ADHD because I'm on Vivance, which I think has been
Right.
really, really helping me focus.
It's a balance.
But Vivance can negate Prometrium, or no, Prometrium can negate Vivance. So I was taking my progesterone at night, and I was so fucking tired the next day. I felt like I was walking through mud, and I'd take my ADHD meds, going, I've got to get belt out an article today. I need to be on, and I'd be
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
So
It's
you
getting that
need.
balance right,
true.
but it's
Yes.
great that
It's
you
like
are getting
life,
the
isn't
support
it?
there as well.
I think
So,
your book, by
well,
the way, because we are.
Yeah, what's the
running out of
title?
time.
'Cause Diane finds titles. Have you got one?
I just
Help me,
love.
what should I call it?
No, your phrase. You coined the phrase 50 single, sacked
50
and
sacked and
single.
single.
Yes,
Now,
yeah.
that to me, I couldn't get out of my head.
50 sacked and
Because
single. I
think
know, it's
about
got a
it,
ring to it.
listeners, 50 sacked and single.
Well, it's like,
Like,
my
it's-
whole life had to
It's
pivot.
it's
Yes,
a
exactly.
remarkable
Whereas really,
place to be in.
Exactly.
It
Like
is, and
50 sacked and single.
I saw a
Wow.
Rich Roll thing yesterday that
I
I shared
love
on my
him.
Insta. I fucking love him too. And God, it resonated. He said, if you're feeling like your whole life is crumbling down around you right now and everything, this house of cards that you so carefully built has come down, he goes, aren't you fucking lucky?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I think
oh,
I
this
saw
guy's on
that
drugs.
too.
No,
Yes.
I'm in the fetal position with
Yeah.
depression, sucking my thumb, and I don't want to. But he was like, you get to rebuild, and you get to choose this time. And so many women I know have followed paths that wasn't their fucking path. They wake up. I've got women now, friends of mine, who they've got 2 young kids and they've divorced, and they're like, I don't even know who I am. I was a mum. I'm a mum. I'm still a mum. I love being a mum.
Identity.
identity
You can
crisis.
reinvent yourself
You can
in
reinvent
any stage of
yourself
your life. And that's honestly, that's what
anytime.
we're about.
You seem to be in a
all
good
age.
place.
I hope
And
so.
that's-
My
No,
therapist would disagree, but no, I'm joking.
No, you actually
But you
seem to be more acceptable of where you are right
I
now.
am. I surrender.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
say?
what I'm
Yeah,
sensing.
surrender.
I
Yeah.
say I surrender.
Yeah.
Where am I supposed to
And
be?
good things are all happening because you're acknowledging it, you're sort of sitting in it, and you're certainly helping other people by sharing these stories.
so.
You
And you
really
guys
are,
are too.
You
It's so
really are a
important.
joy. Well, thank you. You know, I always sort of think it's good just to
I could
to
talk
support.
to Bianca
I know.
all day,
I know.
actually.
Exactly.
That-
Well,
I know
I think we have to do a part 2, part
need to
3
do
with
part
you.
Because I want to
We've got a
hear the
couple of those-
Russell Brand story. Have we got a minute?
Okay,
Have we got a
quick minute.
second?
And little one,
I'm
John
in
Mayer.
trouble.
Okay, quick
I know.
one. Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Russell Brand. Well,
There's so much juice
I actually
in you.
got gagged. Oh, that sounds bad. He actually sent me a message on his burner phone after saying,
This is Russell Brand,
saying
yeah.
if you talk to the press, I'm going to leak a tape of what we did. And I look back now and go, fuck, I wish you'd leaked the tape. Look what I did. Look what I did for the Kardashians.
So I guess.
Yeah. Oh.
And then, of course, and I believed him. We didn't do that.
Yes,
we
yes,
did
yes, that.
stuff, but we didn't do that.
So you went to interview him.
I was invited backstage after
Yeah.
a gig. Oh God, I'm so naughty. I have talked about this, but
we love
not
naughty.
a lot, not like this.
Yeah.
I got invited backstage by his security guard because he just saw me and saw the tits and just, anyway. And then we went backstage and then he wanted us to go back and have. He wanted us to have a threesome, and that's where I pulled the pin. But my girlfriend went back, so she went back to the hotel. I couldn't. I sobered up by then and went, I'm all talk. I'm all like, yeah, let's have a threesome. And then I'm like, actually, I've got to go. I haven't waxed. I've got to go.
That's so good.
So I know,
funny.
but she went back to his hotel and whatever.
God.
But then I was really good friends with beautiful Holly Burns, who wrote for Sydney Confidential, and I said to her, because I'm a little hustler, I said, have I got a story for you? But I said, but you're going to have to write it in a way that's really classy. Don't make me out to be the hussy that I was. But I was single. He was single. Whatevs, right?
And you didn't know he was a sex addict.
No, I had no. Do you know
Wow,
what?
isn't that interesting?
I had no idea. Like, you got to remember,
That's it.
I had no
like,
idea.
really.
So don't condone
Yes,
any
exactly.
of anything.
No.
But I was just a young girl, a bit starstruck, whatever. And he, I just remember him having diptyque candles backstage and going, man, that's cool.
They're my
$200
faves.
Yes, that's
candles.
right.
That's
Yes,
really
yeah.
Steal one of those.
Yeah, exactly.
So she wrote a really lovely, funny kind of story, and of course it was like, in Sydney back in the day before
Yes.
Instagram or whatever.
Yes,
it was
exactly.
like,
it was
Yeah.
the news.
yeah,
of the
it was the
day.
news, and it was
Wow.
like, but it was great because that just helped promote my show. Like I did stuff with Justin Timberlake. I called him a dirty big spunk. Now in America, spunk means something very different. So we start the interview, and I'm like, that was my coined phrase. Nova had T-shirts made that said "dirty big spunk." I listened to Bianca Dye on Nova, like because everyone was
Did
talking
he take
about.
offence to that?
Well, I go, Justin, you dirty big spunk, what's happening?
Yeah.
And then the phone goes dead. And then like Sony ring back on the hotline, and I'm like, what happened? Where did it? And she's like, oh, Bianca, Justin was just quite taken aback. I'm like, what? She goes, well, did you say spunk? And I said, yeah, I called him a dirty big spunk. She goes, spunk means semen over here. She thought you were calling him a dirty big jizz bucket. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And so,
good.
again, I, being the cheeky person that I am, of course, text my friends at, the Daily Telly and go, I got another story about it. So I ended up,
love you.
I was in the paper all the time.
Oh, wow.
But that's how you got publicity. You had to do your own,
Yeah.
you had to be forward thinking. And because
Well, you certainly are. And
Sorry, I'll
what-
shut up.
No, not at
the
all.
people
I know
that
you-
you've met in your little
And I
tiny
think
life.
also this is
my
also
God.
just the beginning for you.
Yeah.
Like you sort of say 50. Well, you're not even halfway there now. We're still
Seriously.
seeing people.
Now I'm
we
in my
interviewed
60s.
Yeah,
we interviewed Dr. Gladys McGarvey. She was 103,
Yeah.
and
shit.
she reinvented
Yeah.
her life again at 90. Had top-selling books.
Yeah.
So you can look. Your grandma lived to how old was she? 92.
Yeah, good
so you're
longevity.
still above. But there's so much there that really.
You
So
got everything
as
ahead of
Di
you.
congratulated you. We've got a couple of
Yeah.
our signature questions.
Yes,
that
go
we're
to
gonna
go.
ask
That's
you.
right,
So
yes.
do you want to shoot, Di?
Oh God! Well, actually, can I ask? I'm going to ask a new one.
Go.
Go.
Throw me.
Just
do whatever
for
you
the hell
want.
of
You
it,
can
it's
ask me
Bianca.
whatever you want.
I'm going to ask you. What would you say to date you are most proud of in your little life?
Oh, wow. I'm going to cry.
No,
No, I
because
am.
I
I feel
will
like I'm
if you
gonna cry.
do.
No.
Oh,
I think
don't.
because-
Oh God.
No, I think I'm so hormonal.
No, yeah.
But I feel like because I think I'm proud of the fuck.
No.
what's hard about it is I look back and think you should have been more proud at surviving all the shitty parts of your life. And I haven't loved myself enough or had that self-worth until like now. Like, isn't it crazy that like in your 50s, I now know what I want in a man and I know what I deserve, and I'm happily single at the moment and looking, and when the right person comes that adds joy and love to my life and treats me the way I deserve to be treated, it's sad for me because I actually think, what the fuck am I proud of? Like, what have I done? I guess I've done a lot of stuff, but it's all ego jazz hand stuff, you know. I don't know. To me, that's all career stuff. I guess I'm proud of being able to stay authentic as much as I can.
Yes.
That sounds like a real cliche
not.
kind of.
It's actually not.
Not at all.
Don't pull it down, but
I've tried,
exactly.
and you know what?
Sit in that.
I've lost jobs. I have lost some very high-profile jobs because of being authentic and standing up for myself, standing up to bullies, misogyny, toxic masculinity in workplaces. I have definitely lost jobs because I stood up and spoke out. And
You're proud of being who you are.
I have to. If I could go back and do it again, would I do it any different? Probably not. And I sit here now, technically out of work, but freelancing, and now swimming around going, all right, what's next? Something's got to be good. The universe is going to, I feel like whatever's next is going to be exciting. I just want to help people. I don't necessarily need to be in the public eye doing it, but I feel like I also want to help people feel less alone in their journey. And I know when I talk about the ADHD, the perimenopause, IVF, I've been a victim of domestic violence twice, heavy shit, a child that, you know, had a very weird, unstable upbringing, although exciting. I feel like I can mush all that together and hopefully do some sort of a stage show where women feel seen. And I know there's lots of women out there doing it, and I think that's what's stopping me. I keep going, but there's so many amazing women out there doing all this stuff. What have I got to offer? And then I'm like, no, fuck.
There's only one Bianca Dye.
I do have something to offer.
The essence of who you are, the true essence of who you are, you should be proud of.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I know.
I mean that.
Really, you know, we
That means
certainly
a lot.
are, and you know, you are
Sit in
authentic.
that.
Yeah, and there's
Own it,
nothing,
own
and
it.
it's fantastic the razzle and the dazzle and that all the hands thing, and you should be credited and proud for all that. But the authenticity is there, and I'm excited for you because it's also you need.
It's a new beginning, right?
Yeah, you do. You need space. You need gap. It's kind of exciting in life when you don't know what's ahead of you.
Right.
You know, we all hit different stages. Going,
Yep.
I'm single at this age. Did I think I was going to be? No. I'm at this stage. Did I think there's
Yep.
no? And so many people can relate to it. But you go, you know
I'm
what?
letting my
There's
hair
a
out.
freedom
Let
to
it
that.
out.
And
There
you don't
is,
know, so
because it's
celebrate
exciting.
that.
It's exciting 'cause-
Celebrate the unknown. You know, so and you look back eventually when you are on that rocking chair.
I'm proud of you too.
Thank
Now, if
you.
you could
Next
share a
question.
back fence with anybody, and
I
you've
thought
met,
about
I think
this.
everybody.
God,
I think
I'll
you've
tell
met
you
everybody
quickly.
for who would it be?
You know what? I'm actually going to go back and say my dad's dad, my grandfather, because Benjamin Dizenhouse, that's my original name. So it's Dizenhouse is my dad's birth name, but he changed it by deed poll. So I'm Dye,
Yes, yeah.
D-Y-E.
Not Dye.
Dye. He died when my mum was pregnant with me. So I never got to meet
Oh,
him.
wow, okay.
So he literally
How
died.
lovely. That's beautiful.
Well,
That's
I just
beautiful. Well, you
wanna-
might be listening from above right now. You never know. But gosh, this has been so beautiful,
God,
Bianca.
I'd spend an hour asking what questions she'd ask me.
I
Won't
know.
go there.
I know.
Well, get me
honestly.
back when,
Yeah, we
you know
absolutely
what?
I'd love to do part two.
I
We
think
really would.
We need to do part 2 when the production that I'm a part of is done and over.
You let us know.
I'll let you know, and
wait.
because we can chat about that because you'll
Would
definitely want to know.
absolutely.
You'll be like,
well, thank you so
Yeah.
much, really, for coming on. As we said before,
And
you
Mum's
fly
in
off
Sydney,
to-
isn't she?
Mum's on the Goldie with me.
On the
she's on the
Goldie,
Goldie,
which is
right.
great. But thank
Shout
you so
out to
much.
Mum
And I know
and
that
Dad.
look, not only been entertaining, you certainly help people as well.
I hope so.
You certainly have, and you've helped us, and you've certainly been a joy as well. So thank you so much for coming on.
Giving
and
everyone a
everybody,
laugh.
don't forget to rate and review. You can watch this on YouTube.
Yes.
And Di does her own ratings because you
Oh,
like to rate. So
God.
Di.
I love that. I gave my tits a 10.
Exactly, like,
No.
woo, well, we
10 each.
5 stars. We love that on the rating there. So Di's got her own.
Oh,
story.
no, it's
Bianca
easy.
Dye,
It's
you tell
50
us-
out of 5.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because 50
Only halfway there.
It's like this is I said it's her this is her new beginning now.
It is a new
I
beginning.
really
Thank you
and for
for
anyone
believing in
listening,
me.
if you're either side of 50 or if you're like me, you're in your 60s. Seriously,
you're amazing.
you know, be brave, be bold, get out
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Don't
That's
just
just
fucking
fucking
do
do
it.
it.
The couch out.
Just fucking do it, because you know what?
Fucking do
No
it.
one's, no one's fucking watching.
That's-
the
that's-
thing.
that's
no
another
one's
life
watching.
lesson as well,
That's the
isn't
life
it?
lesson.
I love that.
Go out there, do that, take the trip, do the stand-up show, write the book. Because no one fucking cares.
know,
But you,
exactly.
in your rocking chair, will go, should have written that fucking book.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, ChatGPT!
Yeah, oh, there goes your microphone.
ChatGPT, write a book for me.
It's
Next
true.
week. Ciao, ciao.
While I'm
Bye.
in the bar. Ciao.
Love you guys.
Bianca.